Hi guys, Carlos Tobon again, Storm staffer, Turbo staffer, and Coolwick staffer. I'm here joined by Jeff Piershat again, and we're getting ready to do another review video from the latest review for the Infinite Physics, the latest release from the Storm family. For this ball, I went with a layout of 5¼ by 4x2. The numbers on this ball are the same core, obviously, from the original physics, the astrophysics, and the proton physics. It's an RG of 248, differential of 053, and an intermediate differential of 0.017. I particularly love the line of the physics. I've thrown all of them. My favorite one was the original, the hybrid. I like the astrophysics a lot. I used it internationally as well. This one has a little bit of a different cover. It's a full-on pearl, but it has the REX cover, which is used on the dark code.
And I didn't know that when we recorded this 3 or 4 days ago, and I know I asked you if this ball was pearl, and you told me what cover it was, but I didn't associate that with the dark code because I'm not a Storm staffer. I'm completely free agent, so I'm just throwing these balls for the first time, and I didn't associate it with the dark code. I have a dark code. I love my dark code. Shout out to Will Charno, my USBC's Open Championship teammate from California, who recommended I get a dark code because he loves it, and he was absolutely correct. I love it. So hearing now, after the fact, that this ball actually has the same cover as that ball makes me really happy because I love it. That ball's been great for me. So this layout is a little, I would say, maybe stronger. I don't want to say stronger because the pin is still 5¼ away, but the pin is a bit higher than what I usually put on asymmetric balls. Usually I keep them a little lower, maybe just above the fingers, or sometimes even in the finger. Right. Because the cores on asymmetrics are so dynamic that sometimes I'm afraid they're just going to flare too much and not hook a lot. But like I said, this isn't my bowling ball. We're using your ball because I don't have an Infinite Physics. So fortunately, our hands are about the same size. Yes. All we had to do was drill a different switch grip to put in the thumb for me, and now I can throw your stuff.
Well, again, the thought behind this type of format is the fact that people can see the same ball for 2 different releases, 2 different ball speeds, and see what they do differently and how they can behave, and you can relate to it. Maybe you actually throw it closer to me, which is a little bit lower ball speed and still very heavy ball roll through the middle part of the lane, or you can actually be a speed dominant like you, but you still get plenty on it. So you'll see exactly how the ball behaves on both ways. Also, going back to the layout on this, I went with 5¼ because I wanted the ball to be a lot cleaner through the front and middle part of the lane, being a pearl asim. I definitely don't need the ball to pick up too soon. I have other balls that I can do that with. I was just looking for more shape down lane, and obviously based on our experience from the Idol Cosmos, this 4K fast finish on this ball blends out all the friction from the lane very well, and it's very continuous. So I was really looking forward to this ball.
Okay, so let's get into it. So again, the format is a race to 4. It's not whoever throws 4 strikes first wins, but if we both strike, then neither of us get a point. So you're starting off, and this lane has a little play on it because we filmed these a few days ago, and we did the Idol Cosmos video right before this, so we didn't bowl a whole lot, maybe a game or two's worth.
Yes.
So the lanes aren't dry broken down, but there's a little play. The hook spot now, there's a good hook spot to the right. So it should be kind of similar to what most people see in their typical house shots. There's a lot of volume in the middle of this building.
Obviously now I'm a little deeper than I was with the Idol Cosmos on the fresh. I was just looking for this type of motion. As you can see, I was a little bit more direct, getting the ball to the spot, and it behaved exactly how I expected it. It read the hook spot, and it got off of it a little bit smoother. And so for a big ball like this, clean through the fronts, plenty of shape in the the back part of the lane, I love it. I'm all over this, and you can see maybe in the next couple of shots how comfortable I feel getting the ball to the spot. Whereas in the other video, I was a little bit more hesitant because I wasn't sure whether I needed to go left and open up the angle, or whether I need to square up and throw a little bit harder. And this is what we're talking about, how maybe the bigger core balls helped me be more comfortable and in managing how the ball gets off the spot.
And you struck on your first shot, right? I totally forgot already. So
yeah, no, I'm sure
it is
you
now
forgot,
1-0.
No, I don't forget. I'm up 1.
I only remember my good shots. My shot, I feel like it was blended a lot. It just didn't come off the spot hard enough. You can see you're slow hooking a lot more. Absolutely. You're going to get the ball to react a lot more than I'm going to be able to, just because of my ball speed and just how hard I'm throwing it. So for you, the ball's giving you a lot of reaction. A lot of times you watch reviews on YouTube and you see 2 different people or 3 different people throwing the ball, but they're 3 different balls, right? Because each one is drilled for their own personal ball. Correct. So you can see what the high rev player is doing, what the low rev player is doing, or what the fast player is doing, but the balls are laid out for them. One of them might be using a ball with a pin up, one might be using a ball with a pin down, one the pin might be 2 inches, one might be 5 inches. Correct. But for us, we're using the same exact ball, so you can see what the same layout does for 2 different people. Correct. So now I'm just trying to get it to the right and hit the pocket hard and just rely on the ball's power to carry. You can see that when I snap the 10 out. So I know that with my speed, I'm not going to be able to get as much shape as you. Correct. I've actually been trying to learn how to slow hook it a little more. It's not been very successful. I'm not so good at it, right. But we're getting there. So I know I'm not going to be able to beat you slow hooking your own ball, which is laid out for your style, which is slow hooking the ball.
Yeah, I had the benefit of laying it out for myself. Right. But it's a great point that you make, because we're getting to see the exact same ball with the with one layout and see how it behaves for 2 different PAPs. For those of you that are not very familiar on how the dynamics change, the PAP for Jeff is different from mine, and so the pin distances and the numbers for the layout might change slightly. But what's important is just to see how the ball behaves thrown 2 different ways.
What's your PAP?
It's a 5 over by 1 up.
Okay, and mine is 5 1/8 over by 7 1/8 up. So they're close. They're about 1/8 of an inch off in both directions. So the layout it's close, but not quite the same. So for me, I know that this ball, it revs up a lot on the back end. You can see right there, it just starts revving. And so I know if I can get it to the break point in the right place, I can get it to face up the right way. Right. But if I overthrow it, it might not. It just might rev up too much. So
I think you just tied it up, because I went light mixer 7-pin. What I noticed from the first few shots is that I'm a lot more comfortable. I'm actually very loose off the hand. I'm trusting the ball. The ball's shaping out exactly how I want to. I might have missed a pinch in on that 3rd shot, but I'm going to stay there because I'm really, really liking the shape of the ball. And like you said, it revs up plenty at the end of the pattern, but it's not losing its shape. So for an acing ball, I'm really, really liking this ball.
Yeah, you can see that one. Yeah, I mean, it revs up really hard off the break point. I find I have an Astrophysics, and I find that this one revs up more on the off the break point than the Astro does for whatever reason.
I think it's the cover stock.
It has
a bigger footprint, for sure.
So if you have an Astrophysics and you want something that revs up more but gives you the same kind of shape, this might be something that you'd want to look at.
Absolutely. I think this will fit a wider variety of bowlers styles, just because of that bigger footprint. I think that it'll get the ball to slow down properly on the lane. It's not gonna jump off the dry. Maybe the Astrophysics sometimes, because it's so clean through the front, it wants to do that. This one will, if you miss in a little bit more into the hole, I think it'll roll. But also it's big enough that when you go away from it, it'll still come back without being too jerky.
So here what I did was I tried to do the same thing that I did with the Cosmos in our previous video, and just get it to the dry. But the Cosmos has a much weaker core than the Physics line does. This being a big ASIM ball, and it just hit the dry and it just went left. So I'm thinking, oh well, okay, I can't do that. Right. I'm going to need to move left now and try to shape the lane more than I want to, and hopefully the ball works out well.
And it's pretty evident and kind of funny at the same time how I'm just comfortable with the shape, right? I love being there. I love getting there early. I love being soft with my hand and kind of create a little bit more of push by being soft at the bottom, right? And whereas before I used to have to really work the ball a lot, and the ball just wouldn't behave this, even this shot that I think I actually overhit it a little bit, and it overreacted, and also we're creating a little bit more of a hook spot in the middle part of the lane. I'm still comfortable there. I know where my move is, whereas before I wasn't sure where to go.
And when I saw you do the same thing, leave the same thing I did, that told me that, okay, I definitely have to move left now.
Correct.
So now we're moving left, and we're gonna see if you see. But I still need to get it right.
Right.
If I get, there's a lot of volume in this bowling center in the middle of the lane. So if I move left and don't get it right, it's like I think I said the same thing in the idle video. No matter how much this ball hooks, no matter how dull it is, if I get it left in that much oil, it's going to go straight.
Correct.
So I need to, I guess, depend on the ball's characteristics of being very a good rolly rev up in the back end, and if I get it to the right place to the right, it's going to rev up and it's going to circle back.
Right.
And that's what I did on that shot.
You got it pretty firmly to that spot and still got back.
And I think is that 2-1 me? I think that's 2-1 me.
I believe so because you just struck. So
yes.
Obviously, I made the move off of that shot as well. I think I over moved. I think I might have gone like 4-2 on from the previous shot, and I didn't get it there early enough. So I'm not panicking. It's just an over move. Obviously, on house shots is really easy to do because you're trying to chase it in. If it was maybe a sport pattern, something that we can actually get a little bit more help from the back part of the lane. Same thing that I said on the previous video. That might have hit the pocket. I didn't think that it would have struck, but I think it would have hit the pocket a little bit more cleanly than this. I went 2-8. So that tells me that either I just square up a little bit more and slow it down through that middle part of the lane. Whereas you're loving it because now you're standing left and throwing it right.
Yeah, well, that one I threw way too far right. That one, all the hook in the world wasn't going to get that ball to hook back. So
for sure.
I had a golden opportunity there to take a 3-1 lead, and I just blew it.
Correct. And this is also uncut. We haven't taken out any videos from our record session. It's good for you guys to see that, what happens when we miss way off target. Is not a ball that's going to strike every single time.
All the Hollywood magic in George Lucas's Star Wars pocket would not have gotten that ball to hook.
Yeah, for sure. So I squared up a little bit more. I got it to the spot a little earlier. I actually like that shot a lot. I thought it was right where I wanted it to. I obviously blocked off the camera a little bit, but the ball just checked out, and it was very rolly through the end part of the lane, but it kept creeping in, and that's why I went 6-10. I'm not unhappy with this. I just think that at that point I was just trying to find how much to hit it and how much to float it down the lane.
I think when I was throwing it, it was a little deceptive because you see the surface on the ball, and I kept thinking it was a solid or maybe a hybrid. And I don't think it really hit me that this ball was pearl and how reactive it would be off the dry.
Correct.
And I think that kind of threw me off a little bit. I was expecting a ball to hook a little sooner sometimes or be a little smoother. And I wasn't ready for how much this ball actually had in the back part of the lane. So that one, I'm thinking, okay, well, I don't want to miss right, so I missed left. And like I said, I got it in the oil, and it still hit the pocket, which I didn't expect. I thought I was going to bucket or something like that. So I was happy the ball got back, but it was a flat 10. It was kind of dead when it hit. So I thought, okay, well, I'm close. I just got to make a small little tweak, and I think I can get it there.
Yeah, I think that exactly what you're describing is the good combination from the cover and the core, where the cover, it's a pearl because it's clean enough, but it has a bigger footprint than, say, the Astrophysics, like we've talked about. And that's why you see that down lane, the ball still coming and still continues towards the pocket, even though, it's a pearl. So I'm liking this combination a lot. I really like this ball. I think it's very continuous. The deeper we get, we haven't lost any shape. I just, struck on that shot. I'm confident. I finally found the right combination of angle and how much to hit it. I actually tried to get a little bit more around it, but without hitting up on the ball, and it was perfect.
And I think there's also some room here for people to just shine this ball up if they wanted. If they and that's a strike there, so we tie that frame, so point. But if they like their Astrophysics, but they just want something that just hooks a little more, but they don't want a ball with that much surface, you can just shine this up, because I'm assuming the cover on this ball, which is on the dark coat, is stronger than the cover that's on the Astrophysics.
Yes, it is.
So if you have an Astrophysics and you just kind of really want a stronger Astrophysics, you can just take this ball and just shine it, and there you go.
You just put the 1500 polish that we normally used to have on all Storm Pro balls, and it would be exactly that. It would be an Astrophysics on steroids. I also believe that people with lower speeds, lower rev rate, could benefit from a big ball like this, with the shine on it. Or if you're bowling like the previous center where we used to do our videos, where the friction is so built in, you might want to shine this ball. But what I like, again, is a bigger footprint, and the shape towards the pocket is just fine. I'm liking what I'm seeing right now. I'm in my wheelhouse. That one might have been a little bit firm. It didn't quite go through the pins properly, but I'm fine.
Yeah, I thought you kind of fluffed that one off your hand a little bit.
Probably. Just
didn't
too
quite catch it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right. I mean, if you make a bad shot and leave a 10-pin, I mean, you take that every time. Because anytime you make a bad shot, I mean, who knows what's going to happen?
Right.
So.
And we're not really bowling for anything, but we're still competitive, right?
Yeah, of
and
course.
we want to win. Absolutely. Nobody likes to lose.
Losing.
So as much as we enjoy doing these videos, just giving it that little edge of competitiveness, it makes us kind of like pay more attention to the execution. So we're just trying to be comfortable in the lane, and we're trying to just throw the best we can.
And here's me trying to slow hook the ball like you, and I can't do it. I mean, it gets there, but it's just my fingers just don't get around the side. I don't Pete Weber the ball as much as some people do, and as much as you're doing here now. So I need to try to either get around it more, or maybe off that. I'm trying to remember what I did. I don't even remember because this was 4 days ago. I think but just looking at it now, I think that shot was really close. All I would have to do is maybe move my target a half a board right, or move my feet a little bit left and keep the same target. Just something to get the launch angle like steeper like yours is, and get that reaction, because that reaction is nice. But I throw the ball harder, so it's tougher for me to get the ball to do that, and I've got to do it a lot more in my hand position and angles.
From a competitive point of view, at that point, even though that shot was close for you, I think that I realized that I had the upper hand. I'm down in the count, but you threw it probably as good as you could from there trying to slow hook it, and it didn't strike, and I was all over the pocket. So the next shot, just like now, I got up, I was confident about it, and I know that my shape down lane is a little bit better, and it struck. So I'm licking my chops at this point, for sure.
So now I don't want to go down 3-1. So, but I missed left on that one, and I'm sorry, I didn't want you to tie it up at 2. I should say. So, but I missed left.
Because I think that's just a result of the previous shot, because you got it there, and I think you were just trying to get around it, and you just didn't project it to the same spot. I think it might have been a little bit more in, and it to 8.
There were definitely a few shots in this one and the idle video where I was looking in a certain place, and I got it to the left of that place I was looking by a good 2 boards or 3 boards or so, and the amount of angle that I'm playing, like if I was playing the second arrow and missed a board or 2 left, it probably would still strike. But from there, I don't think anything's going to strike. Meanwhile, you're just slow hooking
this is my wheelhouse. I can go. That was probably like 19-20 at the arrows, and I can go pretty steep for one, because there's that much volume in the middle part of the lane for this pattern in this house, and number 2, because I like the way the ball is coming off the spot. So that's kind of the reaction that I was looking for. The idle, obviously being a symmetrical ball, it didn't give me that much help, but I've talked about it before in the previous video and early in this video, that once I see that the ball can help me, I can actually get more confident. I can actually relax my hand more and get it to do this more often. This is when I actually excel. I feel like when I can create these angles, and sometimes I'm guilty for trying to look for that too early on tournaments. But once I find this, I think that's when I'm bowling my best.
So this one I got a little more to the right, and I thought it was better, and you can see I was a little disappointed.
Yeah,
I thought that was there, but I just didn't get it right enough. So, I mean, for me, I need to get around the ball, especially on an asim ball, on an asymmetric ball, to get that big wheel. But for you just naturally create. When people say that asymmetric balls roll more forward in the back end, I think it depends. Like for me, they certainly do, but for you, I mean,
I can get this ball back,
shape it.
no problem.
Yeah, you get the ball to shape a lot better than I ever could. So it's a different styles thing. See if this is the kind of ball that fits your style if you're a bowler. But you can see for you're getting the ball to hit. You're getting a reaction on the back. So I've got to try something.
And there's no hesitation, right? Like I know the ball's gonna get back from that spot. Like
Are you up 3-2 now? Before that shot, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, I didn't change that one because I
haven't missed it in 3 shots.
I 2-8 and you struck. So.
Well, I went 2-8, then you flat 10, and then you 7-pin.
Right, the 7-pin. Right. So you're up 3-2 now. So I have to strike here to actually tie to keep this going. If I don't strike here, it's over. And I honestly, I don't even remember what I did on it.
Yeah. But it's a very interesting topic because yes, you're right. Typically, we talk about like don't use the bigger balls from left. Number 1, how much friction is on the lane. there's plenty of friction to the right. However, there's a good amount of volume on the middle part of the lane. That will actually be a benefit from people that want to stand left and throw right with bigger balls, right? When we ball on regionals or on tour events, when there's that much more volume, most people are using the bigger balls, right? If me and you throw it in the same part of the lane and you're using a smaller core ball like a symmetrical ball, I'm throwing a bigger core ball, more than likely my ball's going to hit harder. That's the benefit of throwing those bigger balls.
So we've now done 4 of these. I won the Spectre and the Idol Cosmos, and you won the 2 bigger balls, the Nova and the Infinite Physics. So is that something maybe that you see as something people who throw the ball a little more like me should get a little, maybe a more mellower ball or something medium, whereas if they throw the ball a little slower or get around it more, they probably want a bigger ball like a Nova or a Infinite Physics?
Yeah, so my recommendation for speed dominant bowlers is to try to use smaller cores, right, cleaner covers, and stay closer to the friction. The reason for that is you just touched on it, like 2-3 minutes ago, where if you were playing second air and you miss a little in or a little right, you're close enough to the friction that you're more than likely going to hit the pocket. Whereas me being slower, when I do that, if I happen to get it to the friction too quick, my speed is not high enough to hold its line, get the ball to stay in line. So I have to chase it in. When I have this, where I have hook to the right and hold in the middle, I'm in my wheelhouse because I can get it right early enough and still come off the spot. But if I miss in, it's slow enough that it's going to get there. So,
and a lot of people, they say the opposite. They say if you're more speed dominant or you throw it straighter, you want to go with a stronger ball. And if you're not as speed dominant, if you're more rev dominant, you want to go with a weaker ball. But you can see here for the 2 of us throwing the same exact ball, it actually works out to be the opposite. I know personally, I don't really like throwing big, strong balls because even though I throw it really hard, they either rev up too early sometimes for me, or they straighten out too much. I like weaker balls like Spectre or something that's has a little stronger cover than the core, like the Idol Cosmos.
Correct.
For me, those balls are better because I can get all over the ball as much as I want, and I can stay further right, and I can keep it in front of me more, and that keeps the ball on line more, and hopefully I don't leave things I can't make. Whereas with bigger balls, I sometimes just don't know what they're doing, or I just can't get them to carry as much because I'm just throwing it too hard. So we'll see. I mean, we'll continue to do these in the future, and we'll see if that pattern holds up. I mean, I'm not throwing. I don't lose intentionally. That's not something I do. I want to win, but these competitions, just for fun. But even still, I mean, we'll see if this is something that carries on going into the future with some other new releases that are coming out. One
more fun fact about this ball, Storm. They put scents on every ball. However, this is the first time, as far as I can remember, I don't think they've ever done this, but they didn't reveal yet what the scent on this ball is. So if you get to try this at a local matchmaker, if you have a buddy, or if you actually get one yourself, let us know in the comments on this video after we post it what you think the scent is. You can go on Storm's page. There's a contest for it, and you can comment there as well, and maybe win yourself a new Infinite Physics. But my guess, it's some type of berry scent. I'm really not set on one. I'm probably gonna come out on my social media and tell you guys what I really think. But I'm just not set on something. I think it's fruity. I think it's more.
You don't know what it is either.
No, they don't tell us what it is, so we have to guess.
I don't remember smelling the ball, so I don't think I remember what it smells like. So I don't know at all, but sure. I like berry scents, citrus scents. I like those, so hopefully this is one of those.
Yeah, again, thank you to Green Acres Bowl. They do everything to accommodate us. Thanks to Chris Dyer at Kegel Connection Green Acres for all the help getting this ball set up. Thank you, Storm. Thank you, Turbo. And thank you, Coolwick. And thank you for your time.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time. And until then, bowl good. Thanks.